here with Renee and with all of you. I'm really, mostly what I am is a motivational speaker because my story is a story that I say if, I can do it, anybody can do it. That God can take you from where you're at, it doesn't matter where you're at, to great things, to big things you never even dreamed or imagined. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. Basically, I had a vision, I had a desire, I knew that I had a purpose, that God had a purpose for my life. But I went through some really difficult times. About 12 and a half years ago now, 13 years ago almost actually, we were actually homeless with 5 children. And during that time, it was a very difficult time, something we never thought we would be in. I have 6 children now, but during that time, it was, one of those things where we realized the world was a lot bigger outside our 4 walls of our 3,000 square foot house and 20 acres, and it happened to us. And here we were as pretty much victims, of society, and we had a choice at that point. We had a choice whether or not we were going to move forward and we were going to become more than we were, or we were just going to accept that and continue on like even in our past, looking at our parents' life. A lot of times we look at past generations and we go, they made it paycheck to paycheck, I'm going to just be like them. And in our case, we were even farther behind than our parents were at that point. And so I was determined for my children, especially at that time, I wanted my children to have a brighter future. I wanted more for them. I wanted things to change for their life. So I had to change my thinking and my mentality to make that happen, because when you're living in a tent, there's not a lot of opportunity you're looking at. You're having to hang on to something, and I hung on to a vision. I hung on to a dream to make things better for my children. And so step by step, gradually worked through that process and worked out of that, and not only became an overcomer, because we can overcome, anyone can overcome, but can you go on to be an achiever? And that's what I wanted for my children. I wanted them to achieve great things. I wanted them to not have to work paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, to where they knew they were fulfilling their purpose, because in your purpose is provision. When you find your purpose, you will find provision. And so your provision and your purpose have 3 goals. Number 1 is to glorify God first and foremost. I believe that you have to do that. That is important, because God is the one that takes you places. He is the one that blesses your life. He is the one that gives you those things so that you can bless others. So that's number 1. Number 2, He wants to bless you. Your purpose should bless you financially. It should make a way for you, because obviously the more you have to work with, and the more you can do to help other people. So number 3, that is blessing people and giving back out. Having gone through that time of being homeless, my heart really grew for people in those situations. So my nonprofit was started out of that, because I wanted to help people. I wanted to see their lives changed. I wanted to help other women and other families and other people who went through those difficult times to realize they are not determined by their past or even their present. You can move forward beyond those things and do great things with your life. So that kind of grew from that. I have a publishing company which is for profit. I publish my own materials. I have over 18 published products now. They are carried by Christian book distributors, the homeschool market, because I do homeschool my children. I have done that for 18 years, and 4 of them own their own business. So praise God for that. So we went from homelessness to 4 entrepreneurs, in our family. So, and the others, one of them's 10, so he hasn't decided yet what he's going to do with his life. And so right now this is a video game tester, and I kind of laugh because I think it's more to play the video games. But I said, what his vision is, I'm going to work for myself. And so his vision is not, I'm going to work for somebody else. I'm going to find my purpose. And so in that, I've instilled that in him anyway. So I'm very excited about that. So I just give God all the credit for that, because I could not be where I'm at today without Him and what He's done in my life and taken me through those things. And so I've had the opportunity to meet thousands of women. I travel across the United States, and even men, speaking at men's things, veterans things. Got the opportunity to work with Fort Campbell a lot, just everywhere, from Colorado to all over. And I said, wow, if God can do that for me, He can do that for anybody. And so the world is huge. I'm just kicking off my television show here on Channel 19 in Nashville. I'm finishing up my 4th episode, getting ready to shoot it, and it will be airing. It's Conversations with Haney, where I'm taking people who have real stories and real successes and who aren't afraid to be real, because that is so important. So many times we put on that mask of self-confidence and we say, we can do anything, we don't have any problems, and we put that bar so high up here that nobody can reach it. They look at our life and they look at us and they always form an opinion. People always do that. How many know that? People look at you and they form an opinion before you ever say a word. So we have to lower that bar sometimes to be real with people and say, I've been through hard times, I've had challenges, This is the real me, but guess what? You can come out of that and move up to where I'm at. That gives people hope. People need hope. If they have hope, they can move forward. They can go on, because we need to be cheerleaders for the other people around us. So that's kind of my motivational spiel y'all got there. God's just done so many amazing things for me, and I'll talk about a lot of scripture and a lot of things, because I can't teach and can't help women without doing that. That is who I am, and that's how I got where I am. So if I leave that out, I'm not going to help any of you, men or women. And so I am going to share a lot of that throughout this. You'll find that. We're going to talk about 10 steps to launching your business, ready, set, launch, and how I got there, okay, step by step. First of all, it was the vision, okay? And it's not actually one of my steps, but it was the vision that got me there. And hopefully my clicker is just showing low battery, so we may have to do it by hand here, which is fine, we can do that. Okay, number one, seek your opportunity, okay? You have to look for the opportunities. I believe that they're around you at all times, okay? God presents those opportunities around you. Those ideas that are planted in your mind are planted there by Him, okay? They may seem so off the wall and so big, but don't ever put them down below, because the bigger they are, the more He has to come glory forth, okay? So we want to look at those as our opportunities that He's giving us to do something. You may not know how to take that first step, but if you believe, that's the first step, okay? So you have to seek out your opportunities. She seeks out willing flats and works with willing hands to develop it. You got to be willing, okay? Once you see that opportunity, you got to work at it, okay? You're going to have to work at it. It'll be one of the hardest but most rewarding things you'll ever do, okay? You got to work against the grain, go against the grain, because you're not always going to have 10 cheerleaders in your back corner, okay? Sometimes it's just you and God, okay? And that's enough, okay? So we have to work and develop it. Let's go on. Preparing for a talent-centered career. How do you prepare for that? Number one, believe a successful career awaits you. Okay, belief. Okay, and I've said this already. If you don't believe it, you're not going to achieve it. You have to believe it. And every day, you have to remind yourself that you believe it, okay? When you get up in the morning, you have to remind yourself that you believe in what you're pursuing, okay? Because you don't always get up with that belief. I say that joy doesn't always come in the morning. You have to usher it in with Christ, okay? I don't wake up happy. I don't wake up happy every single day of your life, okay? I don't do that. So I have to continually believe my successful career awaits me. Number two, identify and conquer fear. Every one of us gets hit with this. There are no exceptions, men and women alike. Fear is the number one killer of a dream, a goal, and a vision. It's just the number one killer. It will stop you in a heartbeat. And fear, we all know, is false evidence appearing real. You've all heard it before. But how many times do we worry and worry and worry about things that never happen? When I first kicked off my first book, it's not with me, it's a homeschool daily planner. It's actually residual income for me. It was something that I needed in my own household. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I needed that. I kicked that book off. It became residual income. They ordered them every year for homeschoolers. And so it became a very profitable book for me. But there was a fear when I dropped that book in the mail and sent it off. I tried for a full year to get Christian book distributors to pick it up. Kept sending in the information, sending it in. Now, granted, I am still homeless at this time when I'm doing this. Okay? I'm still homeless, but I put this book together on a home printer, took it down to Kinko's, had them buy one copy, and said, you know what? I got a vision, and I'm going to do this. Then fear kicks in and says, what if they order it? Then how are you going to do it? You're still homeless, okay? And so, you know what? God knows how much you can handle at the right time. They ordered 10 copies. I didn't profit anything on those 10 copies, but I strummed up enough money to get those 10 copies produced and get them out there. And now I sell thousands of copies every year. So it grows a little bit at a time, but you have to take that step and not worry about the ifs, what ifs, whys, and all those things that we worry about. We have to take that first step and let God take care of the rest. Identify your positives and negatives. What are your strong points? Okay, what are the things that you need help in? Because I think I heard somebody say it already, we don't have to do it all ourselves. We may be running the business ourselves, but there's a team and a network of groups who can work together. So on your areas that you're maybe a little weak in, that's when you get your support system in there. You go to people who can do those other things. You network together to get your goal accomplished. Remaining focused. That's a tough one sometimes. Remaining focused, because when the world comes at you and life throws things at you, as it's going to, because anytime you're walking in your purpose, the enemy's right there trying to stop you, okay, with every distraction and everything that's coming your way that's going to try and keep you from getting there. He'll do it in a heartbeat, and he knows which buttons to push on top of that, okay? We have to keep our focus. No, I'm not going to look at this because I'm looking at at this, and this is my future. This is where I'm going. This is where I'm headed. This is the place I'll be. So we remain focused. Then you surround yourself with positive people. Is there not enough negative people and the naysayers who can kill our dream? Okay? Who are you? They'll say many times. How can you do it? You just have a high school diploma. You just have a GED. You dropped out of school. All these things. I just have a high school diploma. How did I get there? Again, I was keeping focused on the goal and the desire and the vision that God had placed within me. So you must surround yourself with those people who are going to say, you can do it. There are people out there who will push you forward towards the goal. And if they're pulling you back, these are people that you need to weed out of your life, because they will keep you from accomplishing your goal. Now let me point out something right here at the bottom. You notice the page number. These pages correspond with my workbook. I do have a set over here, a book that I've written on taking your idea from into implementation, try to say that word, from taking it from beginning idea all the way through to marketing, and then it has a workbook that takes you through that. And a chapter after each page after each chapter, rather, an empowerment worksheet that will actually take you through these things that we're talking about. So those pages correspond with that to give you an idea. And it's where you'll identify all of these type of things and actually realize where you're at now. Because many times we need to write things down. A lot of times we'll think things, but when you write it down, it becomes real. Oh, this is my problem. This is my challenge. We must write things down and learn to journal. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, search out multiple income sources. And let me mention here, I should have mentioned this at the beginning, you do have a handout, okay, and that does go along with what I'm talking about. It's on the very bottom of your stack. So if you'll all grab that real quick. I'm sorry I didn't mention that before. We're not too far into it, though. It is a 3-page handout on the bottom of your stack, very bottom of your stack. I think it's on the bottom of the blue folder. It's a white handout. So all these are going to be highlighted on that for you, so you can take some notes along there. Number 2, searching out multiple income sources. I believe that God has given us more than one gift. I don't believe He's just given us one. Have you ever had like 10 ideas and you go, oh my goodness, where do I start, right? Those are all God ideas, okay? Those are things that He's given you. He doesn't just give you one gift. He gives you several gifts and several things to use. And I'm not only a publisher, but I'm a motivational speaker, which I thought I would never do in a million years, okay? If you knew my story, that first time I told my mom I was going to speak to a group of people and it was about couponing, she just laughed. She said, you're going to speak in front of people. Because when I was in junior high school, I had to take a speech class to get my credit, and I had to pass that and actually do a presentation in front of the class with a television commercial. So I built this gigantic cereal box that I could hide inside, and I promoted this cereal. I didn't have to be seen. I loved it. It was great. I got my grade. I got an A for creativity, and I said, I'll never get in front of people again. So God has a sense of humor on top of that, okay? And so He gives you multiple things that you can bring income in from. Not only motivational speaking, but publishing, that type of thing, coaching, and so forth. So it grows and grows and grows, the different things you can do. So no idea is an idea that you shouldn't consider, okay? So think about those things. Find those multiple income sources. She is the merchant ship loaded with foodstuff. She brings her household food from afar. Notice that. She brings it multiple, okay? She brings her household food from afar. She goes different places, okay? Where are your different places that you're going to draw your income from? My homeschooling is seasonal. So I have a season when it does really well. But that season dies out, so I have to have something on the other side that's going to pick up in place of that. So I have to build those multiple streams of income. That's number 2. Now, finding your field. How do you find what it is you're called to do? Now, I love these 4 things, and I'm going to use my kids as examples of these 4 things and how they found their fields. Number 1 is a need. Okay? If you have a need in your own life or something, and you're always saying, boy, I wish I had this, or I need this, that is a key thing right there, because if you need it, somebody else needs it. My very first product, my very first homeschool planner was a need in my life. It was a book that I put together on the computer because I needed a planner to put all of my multiple children's lessons in one book. Those weren't available 18 years ago. They weren't out there. They weren't planners that you could keep all that in one book. And I thought, well, surely other people would need this too. Okay? That became my residual income. That became a source for me. So what do you need in your life? What is something you have need of? There's lots of people who have that same need that you can market to that will be your customers. Okay? So a need, right here. Look at what Thomas Edison said. I find out what the world needs, and then I proceed to invent. Okay? Find out what's needed out there. The second one, a hobby, okay? A hobby is something you love to do, something you enjoy enjoy doing, okay, with your free time? And I know you're all thinking, I have no free time, right? Think a little more. What would you do if you actually sat down and said, oh, today's my day. I can do whatever I want. What is your hobby? What is it that you enjoy doing? My daughters actually have a business, and what they do is they make paracord. They do paracord bracelets, flip-flops. I don't know if you've seen that. It's a survival army cord. They do that with hand sanitizer holders. They've kind of done a whole line of it now. Dog collars, dog leashes. They're ages 15 and 13, so they have a group together. They also have learned multiple streaming of income because they work for their 17-year-old brother who has his own business, and he pays them. He even pays the 10-year-old to do some packaging and things of shipping out things that he sells, okay? And so they've learned that multiple streaming of income. Well, what is your hobby? They love it so much that they turn it into a business. So let's take a look at what a hobby is. I never did a day's work in my life. It was all fun. Wouldn't you like to get up on Monday and say, ooh, I get to go to work, okay, instead of I have to go to work, okay? I want my kids to say, I get to go to work, and they do, because they love what they do. My 21-year-old sent me a picture recently, and he was kayaking in Jamaica, and he says, working over here. He's a video guy. He's a videographer. He does music videos, all kinds of videos. And I'm like, you're working? So he loves his work, because he was working, but he was in a kayak going, in Jamaica. So fun work, right? So he loves his job. So we should, I believe, enjoy what we do, okay? We should enjoy it. Now, a frustration. This is an interesting one. Let's take a look at frustration. Discontent is the first necessity of progress. Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired, okay? Do you want to change? Do you want something to be different in your life, okay? My 17-year-old is a prime example of frustration becoming a very, very profitable business. He had a cell phone, which all, kids have cell phones, teenagers, it is their life. And he had a cell phone and it broke. And he looked at me and he said, Mom, we need to run to Verizon and buy a new phone. And I said, we're not going to Verizon to buy a new phone. You're going to have to save your money and work towards it. And he said, but I don't have a job. How am I going to save my money? And I said, well, just go to your room, pray about it, see what you can come up with, and come up with an idea. And he's thinking, never. He was mad. I was not Mother of the Year that day, okay, I promise. And so, not a good day for him, but he spent 17 hours on the internet researching how to fix his phone, because he's real headstrong. Now, granted, he uses that on me sometimes, but he's very, very headstrong. And so he decided he was going to fix his phone. $6 in parts. He's going to do it for $6. So he saved up $6, fixed his phone, started buying broken phones off of Craigslist and so forth, repairing them, fixing them. He now fixes iPhones, all kinds of phones, laptops, tablets, everything. So he repairs all of those, he fixes them, he makes lots of money. His sisters, package them up, and his brother, and they ship them out, and he pays them. And then he got hired, actually, by a company that's a cell phone company to come in, and he was 15 when all this started, by the way, okay? He got hired by a cell phone company to come in and train their employees on how to repair phones at the age of 15, okay? So he's getting ready to quit that job that he's manager of now. He does all their ordering, all their hiring, everything, because he's at the point to open his own retail store, okay? He's got so many customers that he doesn't need to work there anymore. He's ready to move on to be the business owner, not just from home, but to have his own retail store. A frustration, okay? When we have a frustration in our life, don't look at that mountain as the end of the world. Climb that mountain and go over it, okay? Doesn't mean you have to go left, doesn't mean you have to go right. Sometimes you go over and there's your provision, okay? So next time you hit that frustration, start looking around. Where's my opportunity in this frustration? What is God trying to tell me in this? Okay? What if I had went to Verizon and bought him a phone? Would he be where he's at today? Okay? Think about that when you're with your kids or even in your own life. Okay? Sometimes the decisions we make can be the decision that takes us farther away from where we need to be. A talent. A talent's something that everybody tells you you're good at. Okay? That you're really good at this. They volunteer you for. Anybody been volunteered for anything before in your life? Okay? Why do they volunteer you? They know what to get done. They know you're good at it, right? They don't want to do it. You got the skill to do it, so they volunteer you. So what is your talent, okay? This is, right here, get that off there. Okay, there we go. If men have the talent to invent new machines that put men out of work, they have the talent to put those men back to work, JFK said, okay? So what is a talent? My mom has a great talent of decorating. I mean, she could decorate for any event, and elaborately, things I've never even dreamed of. They pay people to come in and just tell you, like people here even in Nashville, come into their house and say, you should buy this picture, it should go here, you should do this, it should go there. And they pay people to do this because they don't have that same vision, that same talent, okay? And she gets paid for that. So that's a good thing. Where your purpose and passion prosperity will be found. Okay? Purpose and passion, that's where your prosperity is found. Number 3, invest in your spiritual life. Very, very important. Okay? As business grows, sometimes we have a tendency to withdraw back our time. We have to remember God gets us where we're going, okay? He is the beginning of all things, and He is the end of all things, okay? So we need to invest in our spiritual life. Sometimes we get too busy. She girds herself with strength, spiritual, okay? Spiritual strength, and we'll talk about the other in a minute. For her God-given task, and makes her arms strong and firm. You will do better when you invest in yourself spiritually, and your time is even multiplied. I told my kids that the other day. We had to have a little talk about that because they're like, hurry up, Mom, we need to get done with Bible. We want to get done with school so we can go do this. And I said, if we put Bible first, you'll have time for all that other stuff. I had to remind them, spiritual comes first. This is what a spiritual investment will do for you. It will create positive thinking for you. Okay? You'll be much more positive. It will stretch your time. Miraculously, it works. It stretches your time. It brings out the best in others. When you are positive, you will put forth that positive to other people. You may meet a negative person, but if you're positive, you will draw that out of them. Okay? So it's important that we do that. It helps you deal with business challenges. When you have that challenging customer who walks in, if you filled yourself up spiritually, you're ready. You're equipped. You can handle that challenge. It may not be one you want to deal with, but you can handle it. Okay? So we have to invest in ourselves spiritually. Next, continuing education. We have to continually educate ourselves. I don't know everything I need to know yet. I learn something new every day. I learn in stages. We all do. I say we'll never quit learning. We'll constantly be learning something new that will grow us to the next step. But we have to take those steps. So she girds herself with strength mentally for her God-given task and makes her arms strong and firm. So are you investing in your education? What you don't know, learn about it, just like my son did. He got on the internet and he began to learn. And we're talking about that Google Scholar. You know, it's another learning tool. There's lots of learning tools for us out there. Here are some success stories and helpful websites. Okay, this is one way we can educate ourselves with continuing education. Read other success stories. That will motivate you for sure. Okay? Go to things just like this that will encourage you and empower you, because when you hear other people's stories, you can begin to relate. You can begin to say, hey, I think I can do it too. Okay? So read those success stories. See what you can take from the different ones that will help build your life. Some helpful websites are these listed. Okay? These will definitely help you along your journey of being an entrepreneur. So many resources out there. Books, you know, websites, all kinds of things. People, networking groups, things that you can do to invest in yourself so that you can grow your business. Attending seminars, workshops, conferences. Learn about your needed skills, okay? Professional business correspondence. You know, things you need to learn about to run a good business. In my workbook, you can find some professional business correspondence, some of the actual sales letters that I submitted to Christian book distributors. When you submit things, they do look for certain criteria and certain things. So you have to research a little bit to find out about that. So I show samples in the back of my workbook of actual letters, and I break it down part by part. You need to have this part which tells them this part which tells them that, and so forth. I've done that with press releases in the back of that book, sales letters, business plans, all different kind of templates. There's like 13 different business correspondence things in the back of that, because you need to have good business correspondence. You need to know what they're looking for, and you need to present it well, okay? Verbal communication is important as well, okay? When you go to a networking group, we'll talk about elevator speeches in a minute, but verbal communication, how you connect with people, will definitely help you build your business. You know, if you have a lot of passion for your business, you're going to sell your business. You know, you may say, well, I'm going to send them as the spokesman. Don't do that always, okay? Sometimes I understand we have to do that, but it's your passion, it's your desire, and you can sell it better than anybody can sell it, okay? So it's good to have that good verbal communication. Number 5, invest in your physical health. This is important, okay? We can wear ourselves so down that we cannot move forward with our business, okay? If you burn the candle at both ends and you stay up all night long, you're not going to be mentally fresh, okay? You're going to have to balance that in. But we have to keep going back to the thing that if God sent it, He will give us the strength to do it, okay? We have to remember that. It will fit into our life. We may have to weed something out that wasn't meant to be there. You may have to take inventory of your life and say, what's in here that's not supposed to be? But we have to take care of our physical health. She girds herself with physical fitness for her God-given task and makes her arms strong and firm. Okay, so those 3 things are very, very important. If you're not at your best, you can't better your business. Maintain your health, exercise, eat healthy, take vitamins and proper sleep. Yeah, all that needs to be in there. It really does, okay? My son, my 17-year-old son, when he was about 9, he started to gain some weight, started having some physical challenges, and because we homeschool, PE wasn't something that was just there. Mom hates PE class. And so I decided, for my son's best interest, yes, I need to start doing this. It's one of the best things I ever did. We started walking. He lost 23 pounds in 3 months, doing great. And then we joined a gym. And yeah, I fit all that in. Okay, because it makes a difference in my life. I feel better. When I feel better, I can do more. Okay, as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that when I get out of bed and something's hurting, that shouldn't hurt like that unless I had worked out. I'm thinking, wow, I'm falling apart. And so it helps to exercise. Okay, it really does. Just whatever it is, walking or whatever, it will refresh you not only physically but mentally as well. Okay, so eating healthy, fast food's not always the best idea. I know we're busy. We're busy as business women. That's some of the times that are hard, just grab that cheeseburger, grab this or that. But try and eating healthy, because all of that, I believe, affects your mental ability as well. And proper sleep. Okay, make a plan and set goals. Now, we're getting into the whole really big scope of what you need to do. Okay, making your plan and setting goals. She rises while it is yet night, gets food for her household, and assigns her maids their tasks. It is important that we keep our household in line, okay, because as you begin to grow your business, your household still has to continue to run, okay? You're going to have to set some goals. You're going to have to shuffle some things around, okay? You're going to have to make a plan. You're going to have to maybe you're working from home, you got little kids at home, or, you've got someone at home there you need to usually tend to. They need to understand, I work at home so I can be with you, but I have to work while I'm at home, okay? This was hard for my children. With 6 children, it was tough. They wanted to constantly knock on the door, or, when I'm on the phone or whatever, and I had to remind them, unless you're killing each other or, you're bleeding, do not knock on the door. Our mom has to work. And that may sound terrible, but, sometimes you have to say, look, this is what we have to do so that I can be here with you, okay, when you need me. But if you don't need me right now, I have to do this. When you have young kids, little ones, try and do your busiest things during their nap time when they're asleep, okay? Not when they're hungry and ready to eat, okay? So we have to adjust, make our plans, and set some goals here of what we're going to accomplish. Make your to-do list. Okay, let's take a look at that. If I can get it to jump. There we go. All right, time management, excuse me. Time management's important. Just talked about that. Short-term goals, long-term goals. Make both, okay? If you just make a long-term goal, a really big goal, many times you'll get discouraged along the way. If your goal is so big and so far out there, that may be where you want to end up, but you have to take steps to get there. Those are your short-term goals. If you don't do that, what's going to happen is you will get discouraged, and you'll say, I'm never going to get there. But if you've made those short-term goals, and you can mark it off and say, oh, I accomplished that, it's going to give you encouragement. It's going to motivate you and say, look, I'm this much closer to my goal. I am getting there. Okay? So we have to determine our short-term goals. Where do you want to be in a day, in a week, a month? Where do you want to be a year from now, and several years from now? Be realistic. Okay? Can it be accomplished? You've got to be realistic with yourself. Okay? Can I realistically do this? Okay? And remember, we can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. Sometimes what we think we can't do, we really can do. Okay? So we have to really evaluate that out and say, Lord, can I do this? Okay? Will you help me to do this? So be realistic, be action-oriented. Okay, who will do what? So sometimes you have to assign things. My 17-year-old son, he is prosperous, and his name's Austin. I keep calling him my 17-year-old. But Austin has to assign some tasks because he still currently is working 40 and he's going to 50 hours a week. He's still finishing out his last year of school, okay? But he's working 40 to 50 hours a week for this company, and he's still selling all these phones every week. He has tasks assigned to his sisters and brothers at home. They work for him when they're done with school. And so he taught them how to do these things, okay? So they're constantly doing these things to lighten his load. He's assigning, he's tasking that out to other people, okay? So we have to be action-oriented to say, you know what, I can't do it all myself, but okay, this person can do this and so forth. It's a good time to teach your kids, okay? Don't think you have to do it yourself. Prepare your kids while you're in this journey as well, because you're preparing them to be successful, okay? Don't just let them watch you, let them interact with you to see how it's done, okay? Prepare them. Specific, how many customers, how much money, be specific with your goals, and the time allotted, okay? What time allotment are you giving yourself to complete those goals? And then receiving mentorship, coaching, and training. That is so crucial, okay? I have to have that myself, because if I don't have that coaching, coaching and that encouragement, every level that I hit, there's always going to be a challenge there that keeps trying to take me back down. Okay? I need that encouragement to push me forward. I need to learn from them how to get through to that next step. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. Okay? That's scriptural, that we need those mentors. We need those counselors. We need those coaches to help us to get through. 7, consider your business. Okay? We're going to consider our business. And we're going to use the Proverbs 31 woman for considering our business all the way through to implementing our business. Okay? The first thing she does is she considers a new field before she buys or accepts it. You want to consider the idea that's been planted in your mind. Okay? You want to consider it. How do you consider it? Okay? Let's take a look at considering. Consider, we're going to run a report on our idea or on our field. Okay? Growth potential. We're going to ask ourselves, what is the growth potential of our idea? Okay? Is it going to grow? Is this seasonal? Is it geographical specific? Okay? We need to ask ourselves all of these kind of questions. Okay? What is our product? Is it gender specific? All right? We need to know who our market is. So what is the growth potential of our idea? What is the demand? Is there a demand for what we're wanting to do? Okay? We can find demand a lot of different ways. We can look in the newspaper to see what's being asked for, you know, the help wanted ads, the need ads, we need this, we need that. We can look on the news. We can see a lot of things to see what's going on. One example I use over and over is, let's say you're going to start a flower shop and you're going to design beautiful arrangements and so forth. There's one flower shop in your area, 2 blocks away, and they're always busy. Their parking lot's full. You call to order an arrangement and they say, well, we'll have it done in 7 days. There's a demand for another flower shop. Okay? Because there's need for somebody else to do that. Just because one person's doing it doesn't mean there's not still a demand for you to do that same thing. When I first started speaking, I started speaking on couponing. And I really felt that that was something that the Lord would have me do because I was able to save my family $800 a month. In 2009, my husband at that time was going to face a layoff. He was going to be unemployed. We knew for not how long, but he was unemployed 8 months. I began couponing, and I saved my family $800 a month. That was a lot of money. And we dropped our bill down to $60 a week. So that's how my motivational speaking started. But what I did is I started a workshop and thought, oh, I'll just have a few people. 120 people showed up at the first workshop. It was amazing. And still, it grows and grows. I'm doing actually 7 this month. This month of November, I'm going to be doing seven classes. And so that's continuing to grow. That's another stream of income for me. But there were other people teaching couponing, okay? But was there a demand for me to do it? Yeah, there was, because I could reach people that maybe somebody else couldn't reach. So when you have an idea, don't think, you know, just because somebody else is doing it, doesn't mean God can't bless what you're doing. It's what He called you to do. There's enough people to support it, okay? Competition, you can learn a lot from your competition, okay? We don't look at them and go, ooh, you know. We look at our competition and go, wow, what are they doing right? What can I learn from them, okay? Success doesn't come from being 100% better than your competition, but from being 1% better in 100 different ways, okay? So find out the different ways that you can improve upon the things maybe that they might be lacking as well. Look at past successes of your idea. What are those past successes? Where was it successful? Where does it need improvement? Maybe it wasn't successful in an area. Maybe it's time to resurrect that idea up again, and you need to look at the challenges from that. What were the problems that I can fix and make it successful this time? How much time investment is going to take? Always look at time investment. You know, it may take a lot of time, but you can grow small and keep going because you want to grow small. Okay, that's where your stability is. If you don't get rich quick, okay, we got to grow small. I started with 10 books and now I do thousands of books. Okay, it takes steps. All right. Business structure, you'll need to ask yourself about this. Are you going to be an LLC, a corporation, nonprofit, partnership, sole proprietorship, so forth? You can go to SBA.gov, find out that. My daughters have a little partnership. I have a nonprofit. I also am a sole proprietor. I've got both. Okay, so you need to find out what are you going to be. What is the money investment that you need? I always tell people you don't have to have money to make money because I didn't. Okay, I didn't have money to make money, but I went forward with what I had. Okay, but you do need to be realistic. Where do you want to get to with that? What kind of money investment is it going to take to start out? With me, it just took a spiral binding and Kinko's, okay? And I said, I can do this. Okay? I didn't make a lot of money in the beginning, but I took a step forward, okay? But be realistic with yourself. Sometimes you need an investor, okay? Sometimes you need some other outside sources to produce your idea. Determine your location. Are you going to work from home? If you're going to actually have a shop, and this is something my son's having to look at, is for road frontage, access, zoning, flow of traffic, all these things need to be considered in where you place your business, okay? Because obviously, if your place is really hard to get in and out of because of traffic, Most of the time, people are going to say, you know what, it's more convenient. That's why we call them convenience stores, okay? Because they're easier to get in and out of. You want to make sure your business is convenient, okay? That the flow of traffic will be good there. Starting your business, okay? Number 8, starting your business. She considers a new field before she buys it or accepts it. Ready to start the business now, okay? You've ran your report, you've looked at it all, it looks pretty good, you're ready to accept it. Ideas without action will always remain unleashed successes, okay? If you do not move forward with what you know, you will continue to stay where you're at, okay? You must move forward. Naming your business, registering the DBA, which is your doing business as, and getting a business license. You can do this at the county clerk's office. Obtain a tax ID number, okay? Obtain an EIN number if needed. This is going to be if you have employees, it's an employee identification number. Obtain a logo and a website. Everybody needs a website, okay? Logos are great because we can identify a lot quicker by a logo, usually. This is one that's a free one you can actually put up. You may want to even advance that beyond, but just getting started, webs.com. My daughters have a website on webs.com. My son has one as well, okay? So I'm going to jump through a lot of this. A lot of this is on your paperwork, but I'll be sure and get done in a timely manner here. Expanding your business. Now you're ready to expand it. This is the last part of that scripture. Expand it prudently without putting neglect for present duties by assuming other duties. We have to expand prudently, okay? We don't want to neglect feeding the kids because we're running the business, okay? We still have to go to the grocery store. We still have to do these other things, okay? So we have to make sure that we expand prudently with our goals in place, our short-term and long-term. How do you expand your business? Attend networking events. That's number one way that you're going to meet people, is attending networking events. Have an elevator speech ready. Who you are, what you provide, who you provide it for, and why you're different. Okay, 4 key things. Have a short bio of business and yourself, or yourself. Have your business cards for sure. Renee says she has some for those you could fill out and hand out. You know, if you do not have any right now, but Vistaprint, you can get some business cards, okay? Daily planner, or you can use your phone, but be ready to make an appointment with somebody on the spot, okay, when it's fresh on their mind. Have a business card holder, something that you can keep all those business cards together in. Okay, that's important because you're going to forget. Okay, you're not going to remember those faces. You need to make little notes on those business cards and place them in the proper spot so you can remember to talk to them later. Professional appearance, portfolio, brochure of your work, and testimonies. Get testimonies from people. Okay, it's very important. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And number 10. Invest in your business. With her savings, she plants fruitful vines in her vineyard. It's time to invest. How do you invest in your business? Relationships planted are key components to business successes. Your customer service is very crucial. Invest in your business through your customer service and through business-to-business relationships. Okay? Have good business-to-business relationships. If you're dealing with another company, as I am with Christian Book Distributors, I need to know what they want, how they want me to respond to them. Email, phone, through mail, how do I need to respond? I need to have good business relationships. Investing will equal continued growth. The successful woman entrepreneur, she works for God, she works with God, and she stays alert, watching for that which will throw her off course. Okay? Love this right here. She tastes and sees that her gain from work with and for God is good. Her lamp goes not out, but it burns on continually through the night of trouble, privation, or sorrow, warning away fear, doubt, and distress. Those things are going to come against you, but you have to work for God, with God, and stay alert for anything that's going to throw you off course. Finally, I'm going to talk briefly about my book. This is my book that's over there. What is the status of your gift? It has a volcano on the front of that for the purpose of the volcano can be active, the volcano can be dormant, or extinct. Okay? Is your gift active? Are you using it to its full capacity? Is your gift dormant? Does it sometimes come alive and then the next day you don't think you have one? Okay? Or is it extinct? Basically, you say, I'm going to give. Okay? It's not that it's not there, it's that you decided it's not there. Okay? We think about an active volcano. When the lava flows out, does it not change everything it touches when it does that? That's what your gift should do. It should change everybody you meet. It should change your life as well. So are you a victim letting circumstances control your life, an overcomer holding ground but not progressing forward, or an achiever taking control of your life to secure an abundant future? And this finally is my newest book. I just want to mention really quick. This book was released in March. This is called Single Steps to Married World, Stepping Out of Codependency, Complacency, and Insecurity. Many women are in this place today. Okay? And I'm getting ready to work a lot more with women in these places because a lot of times our gift is buried. okay? Because of something somebody said to us in the past, something somebody's saying to us in the present, or something somebody said to us on the job, okay? And we kill our dream because we don't move forward with who we are. And so this book takes you through my journey of things that have happened to me in my life and how I've overcome that along with other women's stories so that you can reach that full potential that God's given you and not allow your dream to die. So it's very important to step out of that codependency and complacent place in your life. And finally, that's it. I just want to mention one last thing. I'll pass this around. Because I'm a nonprofit, some of you may be aware of how Kroger gives back to nonprofits. What they do is they give 4% back to nonprofits who work within the community, and because I am a nonprofit, I am registered with them to do that. And so what they do is if you choose a nonprofit that you want to actually, every time you shop at Kroger's and you scan your card or punch in your phone number, they will donate 4% of whatever you spend to the nonprofit you've chosen. And so any of you who would be interested in doing that, I encourage you to do that. It would help me out so that I can continue to do more and help other people. And it doesn't do anything to you. It's just every time you scan your card, they donate the money. And so I'm giving a free audio, 7 Steps to Stockpile Success, for anybody who does that, so it'll help you with grocery shopping as well. So feel free to sign that for me, and I will mail that to you after I get you signed up for that if you're interested in it. But thank you guys so much, and God bless your businesses.
Thank you.